In this video, I'm bringing a whole different challenge, a whole different paradigm shift that y'all might be interested in, and it kind of popped into my mind earlier this morning as I was, working on projects. So stay tuned and ask the Father to open your mind a little bit to kind of see what He wants to say. Hey everyone, been working on some projects, videos, teachings, and this thought occurred to me. Oh, by the way, forgive the lighting. Still trying to figure things out, and it's really bright in the background, and nothing really I can do about that. Okay, so challenge, paradigm shift, perspective shift, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so Jesus came into the world, showed us how to live. This is something that the Father showed me, and I'm like, yeah, that's interesting. So we know that Jesus was fully God and fully man, but he did not use his godly powers whenever he was showing us how to live and whatnot. But we also see that the prophets also had this understanding. Jesus lived and he understood, contrary to how the Pharisees and the rest of mankind lived and understood. Where did he get that? Or more importantly, how did he get the understanding? If everyone else, except for like the prophets, how did they get the understanding? Where did they get it from if they had the same source? He lived differently, and he taught the disciples everything that he knew. Well, not everything, as much as he could during his 3-year time, ministry time. But at the end of, I think it's John, where he said, that he has so much more to teach us, but we're not ready. So he had all this, he had all the material that the Pharisees and the rest of the world, rest of the Israelites had, but his life was completely different. Where did the break happen? Not saying that I'm going to answer that, because it's something for the Lord to answer and for us to get during our time on earth, during our study and our back and forth with the Father. But we are to be like Jesus versus how the Pharisees were, and and how the rest of the world is. So why are we not living more like him? Why are we not living more like the prophets? Whenever we had the same material available to us these days, if not more access to the stuff than Jesus did during his time. And so that begs the real good question: where did the break happen? Obviously, Jesus said that the Pharisees lacked or misunderstood the scripture. But thus today, we have a severe misunderstanding because Jesus lived completely different than the Pharisees, and thus we live completely different than Jesus did, sadly. Even the Christians, for the most part. And, I've said this many times, the movement of what I call the mystics are rising up. It's not really seen too much right now, even though I do believe over this coming year and over the next few years that's going to be more and more apparent, more and more obvious. But if you really look at how Jesus lived in a whole versus how we're living, obviously there's a significant difference, and there's a severe separation. So I challenge y'all to actually ask the Father whenever you're reading the Gospels to remove the filter, remove how you read Scripture, and show you a different perspective, a different way of how we're supposed to live on this earth during our time on this earth. Scripture says, I think it's Psalms or Proverbs. Maybe it's even Ecclesiastes. I've gone through those a lot here recently. It says that, our time on this earth is just like a breath. It's fleeting compared to the rest of the timeline that we've been on this earth. Where's the break? Again, I challenge y'all. Ask the Father to remove the filter of how you normally read Scripture and listen to Scripture and perceive it, interpret it, and have Him show you a whole different viewpoint, and just believe that it's Him. Because again, if we watch each other's fruits whenever we're going a different route than everyone else is, if you watch the fruits, we'll be able to see that God is working, that it's actually the Father and not the enemy, not a devil or whatever religious thing you want to say, because someone's living contrary to the popular belief, paradigm. I challenge y'all, do it. Y'all take care. Thank you for taking the time and watching this video. I want to encourage you to like and subscribe to this channel to help boost the ratings, and prayerfully consider supporting this channel. I personally believe that God is rising up the smaller ministries to do a big job in His kingdom, and this is not possible without support from His children, us. If you would, go to my Patreon, www.patreon.com/thegothicmystic. There you'll find a variety of tiers and my website. Again, thank you for your time.